Check, yes. It's mine. Commissioner Sandejas is with us now?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. All right, I would like to call to order the Public Art Commission meeting of February 8th, 2022 at 5:32 p.m. Can we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Becerra.
Here.
Commissioner EJ Neumeier is absent, as well as Commissioner Buck. Vice Chairperson Cruz Sendejas.
Here.
Chairperson Shinsky.
Here. And I'll go ahead and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I don't believe we have any public comments. Item
There are
number
none.
3. Thank you. Item 4, action items. Item 4.1, the Public Arts Strategic Plan and Work Plan.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and our great Public Arts Commission. My name is Leila Nambar, Senior Planner. I'm a staff to your commission. So I will go through the presentations tonight, and we have Mr. Trujillo here as well. So if I need help, I will probably ask him. The first item, as you said, it is Public Art Strategic Plan, which, as you recall, we send you the strategic plan and also the work plan for your review. So we want to hear your input, and also staff has some input too. We think we should simplify the work plan to current plans and current projects and new projects, and then put together a budget and timeline and get it approved by the commission and take it to the council for appropriation. So at this point, staff would like to hear commission's input, and if commission would like to see staff's input first, we can do it that way as well.
Oh, let's start with the commissioners and see what the commission has to say.
Perfect.
Commissioner Becerra?
Yeah, so as far as the work plan goes, let me go back to my notes real quick. There's some specific parts in it that that I would like to see stay with it, like the cultural affairs part of our work plan, integrating a cultural affairs into our work plan and our strategic plan, just so we can be able to have other mediums of public arts like performing arts, which is something I know that was an issue. We weren't able to expand what bodies of works that we were able to do. There's things that we have already done, like the Mural Conservation deaccession documents, and then there's parts like diversifying your funds, so policy recommendations from the commission. That's in our value number 4 under best practices. So I think all of that is pretty relevant. Fostering the growth and development of the local Indio. So I feel like goal number 1 is also very relevant. It's just how can, this staff now implement something like an art mixer or something that brings in community and
artists to be able to talk to one another and network. That's something that we talked with local artists about when there was a local arts collective. We had a meeting with them, and that's something that they did express interest in, as well as being able to build like their support that they need and how to build their business as an artist.
So is it just to add something to your comments, is some of them requires the city to change the ordinance for the public arts.
Yeah.
So which that's something that requires a little bit of more legwork, a little bit of more calculation to go forward. For example, the cultural offer and even also a mixer. But staff clearly hears you, Commissioner Becerra, that those are the points that you would like to carry over.
Yeah, I think that builds into like goal number 2 is working on fund allocation options so that community projects can be prioritized and funded. And then how do we how are we communicating with our community about the needs for local artists or cultural resources that are wanted or needed? Yeah, so that's
All right,
Okay.
that's
thank
pretty
you.
much it.
Commissioner Cruz Sendejas.
Yes, so well said, Vanessa. I agree with what you were saying. And I also wanted to highlight goal number 5, make the arts representative of the Indio community. And goal 6, provide equitable access to artwork, resources, and programming. I know we had talked about that before in previous meetings as well. Specifically, I think when we're doing the ad hoc for the traffic signal boxes, having those resources available to artists that may not be able or don't understand, maybe what is, like a JPEG or having to download their art in a specific way. So just having additional resources so we can provide more accessible opportunities for local artists. That was something that I really wanted to make sure was highlighted.
Thank you. And the strategic plan that the commission came up with at the time, I don't think any of us took into consideration that some of the things we thought should happen in the city of Indio would require changing the ordinance, which complicates our decisions. They're still good decisions, but we need to start the process of having the ordinance changed. But in the meantime, I am tending to agree with staff's thoughts that we make the work plan much more succinct, put together a plan that deals with existing or current projects and projects for the future. Because we do have a number of current projects that we must get finished and then go on to those that we would like to start in the future. I think that would be our best approach, is to put together those current projects, the amount that it's going to cost to do them, have those funds allocated formally by City Council, and then start at the same time we can be working to have the ordinance changed. Because I don't want to see everything stop in order only to work on having an ordinance changed. I think we should continue to work on our current projects simultaneously with another change in the ordinance, because we have our mural program that we're dealing with, the conservation of the murals. We have our traffic signal box program. We have the continuation or finishing of the 9/11 or an entry monument. And we have the Miles Avenue Bridge program to finish installation, even though we have awarded the contract to one particular fabricator, it's still not done. So we need to get those done. And at the same, I'm sure we can, at the same time, start reaching out to artists to do new projects, because a lot of the current existing projects are near the finishing point. But we can back them up with new projects that we want to do. But I think that, and I'm willing to sit down with staff and put it into a much more concise format, a work plan, project, timeline, budget. And if that's amenable with the rest of the commissioners, I'm willing to do that.
I mean, yeah, I feel like it's smart to get what we already have on our plate in our work plan, as well as what we want to move forward with, which is getting an ordinance so we can be able to implement those other programs that are more reaching to the community and what I think local artists really want to see in the city of Indio as far as like public arts, right? We don't see a lot of public art by local artists.
Yeah, because without a change in the ordinance, we can only do certain things.
And that's been the limitation with
And
anything we've asked
Yeah,
for.
it's very limiting considering the things we want to do for artists in our community. We cannot at this point because of the ordinance. So we can work together at the same time, changing an ordinance and finishing the projects that we have committed ourselves to do.
Okay, so, I mean, staff agrees with what collectively the commission says. So I actually have a slide. So what we thought as a staff was simplify it, go show, these are the ongoing projects, these are the timeline, this is how much we're gonna spend to finish them. And we're gonna have, for example, new projects. New projects could be mural, could be small murals. We have CV Link, which is a great opportunity comes to the city. We can think about that. There's some stuff like artist crosswalks, parks, giving unique identity to each park with community outreach. So those are still within the purview of the commission and it could fit into the ordinance. And when we put together the work plan, we can go before the council and say, for example, this is the previous work that will be done by July 1st. And these are the new projects that we're going to do from July 1st, 2022 to 2023. And we get budget allocation for that amount, not exceed. So it's one time going before the council. So that way, every time we don't have to go before the council as well. So those are the good points or positive about having that work plan. But again, staff is available to work with the commission, with the chair, however the commission would like to get together, put together that work plan. And I'm confident we can bring back something for March 8th for the commission consideration, if that's what the commission would like to do.
Well, I'm willing to do it. So, and I'm sure that, are there any other commissioners that would like to join us? But I'm willing to spend the time and energy to work with staff and putting that together, because the idea of going to, up to this point, we have been going to council for appropriation project by project, which is time consuming and, doesn't make sense. But if we can go with a group of projects, current, future, get appropriations in one fell swoop, we don't have to waste our time going to council all the time, or staff doesn't have to waste their time going to council all the time. So I'm willing to do this. So I think that's a fine suggestion.
And staff is available here, so it's the commission's wish. So let me know, and I'll be there.
Well, we've got a
I think it
quorum,
sounds
so
great. Yeah, I think it sounds great. We need this forward momentum. So I think it's great.
well then, can I have a motion that commission member and staff work together to create a succinct and viable work plan to present to city council?
I'll motion to have commissioners and city staff work together to pull together a work plan.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Commissioner Becerra,
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz and Bettas,
Yes.
Chairperson Shinsky.
Yes,
Motion passes 3-0.
very good, thank you. Action item number 4.2, traffic signal box image selection.
Good evening again. On February 2nd, the traffic signal box ad hoc committee, which includes Commissioner Becerra and Commissioner Zendeja, met via Zoom with the staff, and they choose the subcommittee chose more images. However, 3 of them are not repeat artists from previous selections. So I have those 3 images here, or 3 artists. So one image is this one that is on the screen. The second image is this one. And this is the third image. I'm sorry, so we did 4. And this one, both are the same artist, so commission can choose one or the other. I'll go back again. So these 2, and if you see on the tree, there are 2 people hugging each other. So that doesn't come to mind first. You don't see it first, but then you see it after paying attention more. And then again, this one, and this one. So if the commission would like to select all of them or some of them, staff is here to get your recommendation, commission recommendation based on the ad hoc committee's recommendation.
No, so for the images that we just saw, those were selected by the ad hoc committee?
Correct.
Okay. Well, they did their job, that they did the job they were asked to do, select imagery for new boxes. So why not? Yeah, sure. Let's go with them.
Okay, so which one from these 2? We need to choose one of them.
Oh.
I mean, just based on our concerns with the one with the tree, just because there's a lot of blank spaces. I think we had talked about that being a concern.
We did.
So, yeah, so maybe going with the other piece.
Okay, with the
Yeah.
one that looks like somebody with the armor.
Yeah, with
That's a takeoff of one of the temples in Mexico.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, so we go with 4 images, basically 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is great. So this is part of this. The other part, I mean, if the chair would like to vote on that, that's fine. The other part and the traffic signal box is to give you an update on the estimates that we receive, also going forward, the changes that the ad hoc committee and the staff would like to make to the application. So if you would like me to go through the other 2 piece parts, I can do that, or I can just pause here for the selection motion.
Well, I'm going to indulge and just make a motion that we select the images that the ad hoc committee selected. I'll make that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Becerra,
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz and
Yes.
Chairperson Shinsky.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you. So we got 3 bids, one from Signarama, one from Canyon Print, and one from iForm Media for 26 boxes. And as you see, the prices are very different from the top to bottom. iForm Media is the one who did one singular one for us on the corner. So staff thinks to go with the $15,000 bid from Signarama. We also, with these 3 images, we are anticipating about $10,750 stipend for the artist. So that will be added to that 15,000, becomes almost about $26,000 to get all those 26 boxes. And that's just informational item for the commission. And if you guys have any hesitation to go with Signarama, which is a sign company.
Oh, yeah, I think Signarama can give us that kind of price because they're a large company. They do a lot of different types of work. So they're not just dependent upon one particular thing for income. So, and I know their work. Yeah, they do good work.
So the other piece of this update or this item was maybe for the next application, these are just the ad hoc committee staff came up with these items for the discussion for the commission, which is, do we want the participant to submit images in a specific resolution? Do we want to make sure that these images don't have any negative or blank area, which could cause a place for graffiti? Do we want the images to be basically superimposed onto the traffic signal box shape, and which is always provided via the application? Do we want to provide additional option for the applicants that they don't have those means to do those digital or graphic, works? And do we want to just say, if you don't do A, B, C, and D, you're automatically out of competition? And the other piece is, do we want, or does the commission would like to reduce the stipend from $750 to another number, or would you like to keep it as is? So those are just food for thought and for discussion to see if we would like to limit and have specific application and automatically put people that they don't meet the application requirement out of the competition, which that could be done by staff, because we say A, B, C, D is not met, so you're out of competition. So a pool of proper application comes to the ad hoc committee. Again, we can also put a disclaimer and say, if you don't have the means, let us know, maybe we can help. Again, these are all here for you to discuss and to let the staff know which way you would like to go.
Well, do the 2 ad hoc committee members have any additional things to say?
I mean, that kind of just sums up my concerns is, yeah, I would like to provide any sort of option or additional support for artists who don't really understand how to submit a digital copy of their artwork, or just even how to submit an art piece for a program. So that's something that I think we should include.
Yeah.
Yeah, just if you all want to just go ahead and dequalify some art pieces based on if there is copyright images, I think we had ones with patches in there. And then also if there's logos or words or numbers that constitute a sign, I think we have on there any promotional or advertising as well, or anything that depicts violence or explicit material political messaging. I think those also should be weeded out.
Yeah, and the specifics too, about the actual image. I think when the artist is submitting these images, they're not, if it's not specified like about the blank space or the open space, then they're going to submit what they've created already. So to be more specific, saying this is why we need your piece to fill the space, I think it would be easier to be able to go in and say, okay, yeah, this one's good to go. It was really hard because there was a lot of really good ones, but because of that blank space, it made it really hard to move those forward. So I think being very specific as to what we need is super important.
Yeah, that's a great point, CC, that's the explanation of why we're asking for this format. It makes sense. It would make sense to an artist why they should not have open space, because if you have open space, it's an invitation to graffiti. So yeah, all of the points on the slide, I mean, these are very thoughtful, and I think they're great guidelines. And especially one of the helpful one, if someone doesn't know how to superimpose, then we give them the opportunity to learn, that we help them out. I mean, that's a great service to a lot of people. It would be to me. I don't know how to do it. There are a lot of folks that don't know the technical aspects, and we may be losing out on application or submissions because of people that don't know how to do these technical things.
You're absolutely right.
A good thing about this program is how do we build that sort of foundation for local artists and submitting artwork via technology, because I don't do that. I work with pieces of ceramic, so to submit something digitally is not something that I know how to do. So if this is a program that we can use to sort of uplift that ability with local artists, I think that's a really good foundation that we can build.
Yeah, so true. I mean, I looked out my brother and sister-in-law, that's all they do is digital stuff and photos. So it was, it's easy, but not everybody has that resource. They don't know what that stuff means. So I think that definitely it's a good idea.
So I think also we can put together like a guideline or guidance. So if you open, for example, the Word document, you copy it with this and you paste it with that. So that will be also next to the application online, so everybody can access it. And then if somebody says he or she doesn't know, so we can refer them to that. So that will be there. So it will be fair. Everybody has equal access to some document that walk them through how to superimpose with maybe 2 or 3 programs that everybody can access to.
Yeah. And then maybe also include like, this is going to be a digital wrap, because I think some artists thought that they were submitting like an example of their artwork because they were thinking that they're going to be painting on the boxes. So just letting artists know that this is a digital piece, so you're not going to be actually working on the art or the box.
Clarification of the process. Yeah. And I totally agree with, if it's an incomplete application, it's tossed. There's no reason why someone shouldn't complete an application, especially when we're giving them opportunity to learn, or we're giving them the opportunity to come and get the help to finish the application. If they still don't finish it, no.
Yeah, maybe like a checkbox, like, did you do this? Check. Did you do this? Check. And then once everything's checked off, okay, now you're ready to submit.
Exactly. Yes, it's like writing a grant, because almost every major grant has that at the end. Did you, AB? You have to check each box. So, and did the subcommittee discuss the reduction of fees, or is this just an idea that came from staff?
It basically came from a staff. I discussed it with the subcommittee, and we just said, let's bring it back to the commission as a whole. But again, it's up to the commission. If the commission as a whole would like to reduce or keep it as is. And that will be for the next time that we go out. So the ones that we choose, they get the same stipend because it was on the guidelines.
If the ad hoc committee discussed it, I'd like to know your reasoning behind it.
We didn't really discuss it too much. It was just brought up. Just as far as the discussion was, just how much is actually being spent, how much of our arts funds is being spent on it. Because I think it was like twice as much, if not more, per box than we were paying the artists.
Yeah.
So how long can we keep our funds going? But then again, this is what, every 5 years that we're thinking these boxes are going to last. So that's, I think that's something that I would want to see, is just how that looked broken down in front of me, just the funds. And then within every 5 years at $750 versus whatever the reduction we would take into consideration.
So there are these 26, 27 boxes that they've been before painted or wrapped. So we need to rewrap it. But there are more boxes, newer boxes or newer locations that it could get wrapped too. So we may go with this mess. Right now we have like more than 16 images. So let's say we wrap this 16 and we still need to go out for the rest of the 26. However, there are additional boxes. So that's why we were like, do we want to keep it as is? Do we want to go a little bit lower? Do we want to keep it as is? And we don't have to decide right this second, but these are just food for thought for the next round that we go out.
No, I understand that. Thank you for doing all this. But yeah, I'd be willing to reduce the amount, knowing that some people do original works and sell them for less than $750. So sure. And the works that the artists submit to us, they retain ownership of them, so they can reuse them for other things. So. Yeah.
What about the subcommittee? The subcommittee would like to keep it as is, go lower, go higher.
I mean, I hesitate to go lower only because, again, there isn't really much for local artists to bring their work into the city public arts. So that's, and for me, until we have like better programming for local artists, I mean, I do want to keep it, but at the $750. I know we've also talked about, I have right here one of the drafts for the traffic signal box. We have on here 500 for each image selected, and we said up to 3 images can be awarded per artist. So that's just what I have here, but those are just my thoughts about the program in general. I mean, it's a program that we're actually getting local artists to be a part of.
Yeah, no, but what I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
So when we start doing other programs for local artists, that would be the time to lower the amount for the traffic signal boxes. Up until then, if we don't have anything else to offer local artists assistance-wise, then keep it at $750. But when we have the ability to do other programs assisting artists, then we lower it.
I think that's a good way of looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
Sure. Yeah, that's good. Perfect. But the commission would like to work on the application and submittal, and then to fit all these other items above the reduction of the fee into the application. Correct.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay. And then we'll bring back to you the complete application for your review as well.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Do we need to vote on that?
No, those just directions.
I didn't think so. Okay. All right. Thank you. Item 4.3, ad hoc committee selection. Public Arts Commission to appoint 2 members of the commission to form an ad hoc committee to collaborate with the Community Services Commission's ad hoc committee to discuss the possibility of merging the 2 commissions.
So this item will be Mr. Trujillo's item, so I let him just take that item.
So
Thank you.
as we discussed in the previous meeting, the possibility of combining the two commissions. In order to further explore that, we'd like to form an ad hoc committee, like a 2x2 between the two commissions. So before we deny it, if we can have you guys vote and select two of your members to be part of the ad hoc committee, that'd be great. And then we will go before the Community Services Commission next Tuesday. I think it's next Tuesday when they meet, and do the same thing. Select those two. When we have the four, then I'll schedule the meetings for myself and Layla to meet with the four parties, and we begin to see the viability of the idea and to see if there's rationale to support it, or if it's just a pipe dream and we move on and as a status quo. So if we can get the commission though to select two of the members tonight, that'd be great.
Well, I'm one of them. Anyone else like to volunteer to do this?
I can volunteer.
I'm gonna say if Cece doesn't want to do it, I don't mind doing it, but
Did Cece just volunteer?
yeah.
I did.
Oh, good, because I was to suggest that the vice chair be the second person. So good. Then
I read your mind.
So then on this one, you would need to vote.
yes, so I need a motion that we accept the two volunteers for the ad hoc committee to discuss with the Community Service Commission, that those two are Commissioner Vice Chairperson Cecilia Cruz Sendejas and Chairperson Bill Shinsky. Can I have a motion?
Motion for the ad hoc committee selection of Chairperson Belchinsky and Vice Chair Cecilia Sendejas.
I'll second.
Commissioner Becerra,
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz Sendejas,
Yes.
Chairperson Shinsky.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
All right, thank you. Item 5, staff items, 5.1, the 2022 Coachella Music and Arts Festival Tour.
So for this year Coachella Music and Arts Festival, there are two tours. One is Thursday, April 2022. The other one is April 14 and April 21st, both of them at 10 o'clock. And we meet in the parking lot, which we will provide you with the map as the parking lot west of Monroe Street, south of Avenue 50. And then the artists will be there as well. So the commission can see the art and talk to the artists. And staff is available to help you with if you decide to go any of the days, and we will be there to go with you and also maybe give you more information as we get closer to the events. The staff thought was this way the commission can see the art pieces, and if there's anything that really meets the commission standard, then staff can pursue and go forward with talking to Golden Voice. And if there's nothing that the commission would like to have, at least provides an opportunity to meet the staff and maybe get to know them. And we can have those artists in our list of artist inventory as well.
Any comments, questions? I'd be a lot more enthusiastic about this if this commission, because I don't like the idea of this commission becoming or the city of Indio becoming the storage facility for works from Coachella Fest. Especially when we're having to pay for it. If Golden Voice wants to do it for free, fine. as long as we approve the piece. But I don't like the idea of spending as much money as we have already on other things from Golden Voice. I mean, they should be doing it as a community service. And if this, unless we had been part of the selection process of the artists, that makes sense because we had input in who they chose or who we chose. And we knew going in that, oh, we're really going to like this piece. We hope it can become part of our collection. Otherwise, unless we're an integral part of the process, I do not like the idea of handing any more public arts fund money to Golden Voice at all.
Understood.
But everyone let staff know which date you'd like to attend. Is that how you'd like to have it done?
You guys can let me know maybe April, beginning of April, which days you would like to go out. We understand it is, we're too early to decide, but
Yeah.
just wanted to share the dates with you early on. So let us know and then we make it happen.
Very good, thank you. Item 5.2, the Mural Conservation Update.
So on January 19, as chairperson recalls, because he attended the meeting, the city council approved the recommendation, the commission's recommendation on the mural conservation. So the council approved to remove the two murals, which is the history of date and history of electricity, and do a repair on the desert Kauai village. So staff was able to contact all three artists. We had sent the artists that we need to remove their work a waiver so they can waive their rights. And also we had contacted Don Gary, which he was painted the desert Kauai village, and he gave us an estimate of $2,200, which is, as you see here, it's breakdown for his travel and lodging and 2 days of putting scaffold and also mural restoration. He also suggested us to put an anti-graffiti coat that a company who does all the anti-graffiti coats in LA area, which they get, substantial graffitis there, and the murals, this mural, and it is amazing. I can share it with the commission maybe next meeting that how that anti-graffiti and anti-UV coat, by spraying over the images, it make it brighter and sharper by itself. So that could be another remedy going forward for all our murals to last longer. But staff just want to provide an update that $2,200 is the pricing tag or ticket for this conservation. And we are working on the contract to get the artists to perform the restoration. And if there is any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Any questions, commissioners? I mean, if I remember correctly, the item that the city council approved was up to a little over $16,000 for restoration. And it's always been the policy of this commission, as far as I can remember, that the original artists be given first opportunity to make any repairs to their work. And even if he went over $2,200, I think it's more than appropriate that we allow the artist to do the work. It's his piece. And even with an anti-graffiti coating, I don't think we'd still reach $16,000.
That's correct.
Well, I'm in favor of allowing Mr. Gray to repair his work.
Yeah, I agree.
Sure.
Thank you. And how about Commissioner?
Becerra?
Yeah, Commissioner Becerra said she agrees, and then Commissioner Cruz?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. We didn't need to vote, but I'd like to hear your comments, so that's why I asked. Thank you.
Just a question, that includes like all new graffiti on that piece too, right? Because I did see additional graffiti on.
Yeah.
Correct.
least,
So the new images that I sent included those. And then there's some graffitis from before that when they try to fix it, the paint doesn't match.
And when this does happen, when Mr. Gray comes to work on the piece, I have a scaffolding unit at the Art Center building that he can use.
Oh, great. Thank you.
All right. Any other comments on 5.2? No. 5.3, Sarbala K installation update.
So as you recall, Commission asked the staff to bring back images to compare what was in the what was installed in the festivals and what was installed for the city. So this is just the drawings that what we're supposed to get, which I don't think we got all the pieces. We went with 9 of them. So the images on the right of your screen is the actual pieces at the Dr. Carrion Park, and the images to the other side. Oops, sorry. The images to the left is at the festivals. As you see, because we wanted to have it enclosed, so this portion has been removed, so it's shorter. The colors, I can't really say if it's the exact color there or not, but it could be a little bit different because some of it was repainted. Again, this is the existing, and this is where it was in the festival. So you see this piece, you can compare it to this one. Of course, the lights may be different. So, but it's hard to say for me. Again, this piece is what is here. So as you see, this is a little bit lighter, and here is also a little bit lighter. But if it is the exact match, it may not, or maybe. So that's for the comparison. As I said, this piece, the bottom piece, was removed in order to make it enclosed so nobody goes in it. However, we've been getting vandalism. So as you see, people go in, kind of like remove them and go inside. Golden Voice has installed a metal wiring mesh inside those pieces, but still they cut them. So there are suggestions from Golden Voice to repair it for free, which includes either removing these pieces so people can go in and out. There was another option to put hinge, which the hinge looks like a door, but again, it's a park. You don't want somebody be in something and you don't know, and the door opens and somebody comes out. So it may stutter some people. So, but if the commission would like us to go and talk to the contractor, the fabricator, to see which way is the best way, we can do that. But we wanted to let the commission know that this is kind of like the issue currently with the pieces.
Yeah, I had no idea that they were going to be completely enclosed like that. So, I mean, I do like the idea of having them opened. That way they can be, I think, what they were intended to be, which is an interactive piece where folks can be within what is the baobab trees. So that's just my suggestion, is opening it back up.
Well, I mean, I could see it like the original pieces were open. That way no one could hide in it because you could see. And as far as vagrants, I mean, any space that's somewhat protected, you're going to have a homeless person in there no matter what. And if they're enclosed, they're going to find a way to get in.
Mhm.
If they've already been vandalized, that tells us a lot. And when I went over to see these objects, they're a lot different in color than what the photographs are showing. They're much grayer and very much different than the original pieces. And, you know, in my estimation, even though the basic shape is the same, the pieces themselves are very different, are not the pieces that was agreed to by those commissioners that voted to take these. I mean, this project has been a disappointment to me from the beginning, and everyone knows it. But we've got, well, number one, public safety is the issue. And I have a real concern about their longevity. I mean, I actually had a builder from Los Angeles ask me, goes, because he went over, he just happened upon them. And I ran into him Sunday. He goes, why in the world do they make these things out of plywood? They're not going to last in the desert. You're talking, you're preaching the choir. So, you know, they're just not going to last. This desert weather and wood and paint, not a good combination. But until they start disintegrating before our very eyes, which they will, I think that we better make them safe.
Yeah, if that's the material that they are, then it's no wonder that it's not the same color if it's the same piece, you know. But yeah, safety is a #1 priority. And I do agree with they should be open. They should be open as the original pieces.
So does the commission would like, for example, here, right, in this piece, all the orange portions can come out, so they will be open, or on this piece again, all these orange pieces can come out, so everything will be open. Is that what the commission would like to see? And then also, would you like us to bring it back as how the open will look like before we tell the fabricator, or you're okay with us just tell them to take
Well, we know
orange
pretty
pieces?
much what it's going to look like by just, you know, the photographs of the original pieces. It's the safety issue that is really concerning. I mean, it's not going to change the overall look of the piece. It's just only at the bottom.
It may look better because I'm looking at this orange piece and it looks like already some dirt affected it. So if you remove it, the blue looks like it didn't get that much affected by it. So it could look better. But okay. So Mr. Trujillo, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to say that I'd hate to kick the can down the road and bring this back to you for further review. Let's remove the bottom pieces, as you indicated, tell the fabricator to move forward. And that way, even IPD will be much happier that they're not out there dealing with this issue ongoing. So
Oh, yeah.
if we know that direction, let's move forward and close this out, and no reason to bring it back to you for further review.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Scott. I mean, we've all agreed that, you know, public safety is the major issue. And so whatever you need to do to get it safe, do it. Yeah.
Right, great, thank you. So we can go to the next item.
5.4 Colossi Cacti Art Piece Installation Update.
So as you know, it was a ceremony for the unveiling of the piece, which the chairperson attended, Mr. Trujillo attended, and apparently I attended too. Yeah, I'm right there.
Oh, there you are. Yes.
Yeah, I attended.
I remember that. Code.
That's just a super.
I was
info.
so confused when I saw there and I was like, wait, what?
There was a space open, so I slided myself there. But the other portion of this update is we have the pieces installed and it was unveiled by the chairperson, the artist was there, the mayor was there, the city manager was there. Let's go back Mr. Trujillo was there, the community, economic services director, our marketing director, HR director, one of our planning commissioners, council members. So it looked like it was really fun, and I missed it. So that's a good thing. But we have another piece that we need to talk about, which is a good thing as well, which, as you see, there's grass here. So in order for us to avoid getting water spray on the piece, we would like to remove the grass and probably reroute the pipes for watering the grass and add some lighting as well. So that will cost about $5,000, and it is getting done and installed by Herman Design. So we just wanted to bring it up to you that to finish the project, we need to spend that $5,000, which it was not part of the original budget.
And why wasn't it?
Probably oversight, or probably the staff. I'll take the responsibility. The staff didn't think about it. So as we go forward, we will make sure that those are part of the cost estimates as well. And this just helps the longevity of the piece as well. So we apologize, but we make sure next time it is part of the budget.
Well, the campus lighting usually is.
This one's a unique piece, as we know, in that how it even came about. This was not sanctioned by the commission nor the artist staff or assigned to the commission. So, we commend economic development for being proactive and getting this done. So now we're finding a couple of these items in which we're trying to close out. And I think it's coming together now at this point, and it's very promising moving forward. But the good news is I've been assured by economic development this is a one and done deal, and that they're not going to drop any new art pieces on us after the fact. So moving forward, any art that comes to the city will come through the commission.
Can I have that in writing
In the work plan.
from economic development with the budget? No, I mean, I understand. Yeah, and it is lonely at night out there, and this is referencing the next item on the agenda. But I mentioned this to the crowd at the opening, is that these pieces were made for public theater, and when they were taken from that public theater environment and plopped down on a grassy area, they lost a lot of their energy. So I think, especially at night, they will need lighting. And then when we talk about item 6.1, I'll finish my conversation on that. But all right. So not more than $5,000?
Yes, that's what we were told. It's not going to exceed $5,000.
And so you're saying that's coming out of the Public Arts Fund, or is that going to come out of Public Works?
It will come out, the expectation is to will come out of the Public Arts Fund.
That's what I thought. Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Item 6, Commissioner comments. 6.1, new projects and items for the next agenda.
So as you recall, we brought this item to the agenda since last time. And then we like to hear from the commission what kind of new projects the commission would like staff to pursue, what kind of potential opportunities the commission sees in the city that could be an asset for art public arts. And also if there is any discussions or input regarding our current process. So that's again, this time is set aside to hear from the commission. And we just wanted to make the last item kind of like brainstorming and, you know, bring some energy to the commission. So we are here, staff is here to hear commission's ideas on any of these 3 bullet points or any other items that you wish to discuss it with the staff.
Well, I think the last meeting, we mentioned that if everyone went out and thought about what they would like to do in the future, the types of projects you'd like to do. Did anyone think about them? Besides, you know, we have artist advocacy, that's always on our mind. But as far as the traditional type of projects that we have been doing, any thoughts on what you would like to see happen?
I mean, I think we need to revitalize our outdoor spaces like our parks. So if we can bring in some sort of installations using, you know, our local artists again, to be able to bring some sort of life to those spaces, it's a priority for myself. I spend a lot of time in the parks and there's not a lot to see or do.
Mhm.
And I think that it'll bring a lot more community in those spaces. So if we can see how we can get some installations in there in our local parks or.
No, I agree that, I mean, the parks can be a lot more interesting than they are. I mean, I've kind of done a little bit of research on them, and I believe we have 8 that have shade structures that each structure could be given to an artist to do something creative with, in collaboration with the surrounding neighborhood, getting the neighborhood in, meet the artist. What imagery would you like to see in your neighborhood park on the shade structure? Another thing I thought about is that some of the larger parks, it would be an interesting thing to put a walking labyrinth in them. Walking labyrinths are ancient things and are used by many people for meditation. If you get to the center, then you have completed your journey, and they can be in all sorts of material, and they're quite lovely. They're quite lovely. So the other thing I thought about is that with CV Link coming in, there's going to be, I believe, an exit from the link into Indio proper on the bridge at Fred Waring. That could be a great place for a public piece, going the entire length of the bridge, and then something going over the exit or entrance to the link. That's another piece of sculpture we could think about in the future.
I would also like to see some more installations that are different, use different senses, right? We're talking like speaking on equity, how do we incorporate folks who don't see art the same way that a lot of folks do? So maybe some sort of kinetic sort of art installations or different sensory installations throughout the community.
Sound installations.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some sound artists that do remarkable work based on movement. And for those visually impaired people, it's something that they can very much enjoy.
Yeah, that sounds great. I think for me, I really would love to still highlight more opportunities for local artists. So I know we have the murals and we have the box, but the traffic box signals, but even something like, and I think we had talked about this in the past too, highlighting like an artist of the month, something along those lines. For example, I know, and it's probably too late for this, but you know, Coachella comes every year. Local artists, a lot of local, last year, yeah, or the 2 years ago, yes, but a lot of local artists are not featured. Perhaps the city do something for artists to produce something, in honor of that. And we can highlight, individual artists for different types of, functions like that. Just something that we can highlight artists in our community who don't have, those opportunities, like to do like an art show or something like that. So that's what I would like to see.
So again, that highlighting an artist through an art show may not fit into the ordinance. However, we can have artist presentation. Scott, you're here, I'm looking at you. We can have artist presentation by artists at the commission, so they can come here and have a presentation, explain about their work, explain about themselves, and that will be, we use local artists. That's the time set aside for local artists. So we can do that, but we may not be able to do an art show or even like a artist retreat or artist gathering with the current ordinance that we have. But I made a note of it so we can think about it when we are doing more changes.
So I
How
think
about if they were like, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, how about if they were like highlighted on the website?
Like through social media as well, I think.
So the other task that the staff is working on, which is not part of that, and I'm just gonna mention it quickly, is we are trying to put together an artist inventory. So when we have the artist inventory, then maybe we can do that as well. Because at the same time, we wanna be fair to everybody. So whoever, we don't wanna say, we find this artist and let's put him on the social media. So we need to also be fair to everybody. They have similar access to what we offer. So we can do that at that time as well. Yeah.
Could we start an Artists of Indio Facebook page or something like that? Would that make sense with the local ordinance?
That's a good idea. Let
Great
the
idea.
staff think a little bit about it and run it by a couple of different other staff personnel to make sure we can do that.
I mean, that way people can post their imagery onto the, Artists of Indio Facebook page or Instagram or whatever it is. I'm sure we'd have to have some sort of screening process for appropriateness, but that's an easy thing, it's an easy thing to do.
To also just engage local artists. As
Yeah,
well.
I mean, and social media, everyone lives by social media.
Mhm.
Okay, staff will work on that and bring back this to the commission on March 8th to see if there's avenues to use that.
Okay, great. Anything else? Any other comment or ideas from commissioners?
Does the commission would like to, because we heard last time at the council that, and also in the survey for the murals, people would like to see new murals. Does the commission would like?
Oh, that's right. I didn't finish my story about the cacti. But those cacti are sitting there in this open space, totally alone, and but there's that blank wall behind them.
They need a friend.
The Hispanic Chamber of Commerce building. And that is
This wall? You're talking about this wall, Chairperson Ashinsky?
Right there.
Oh, right there.
You're right.
yeah, that
That
wall.
wall. Okay.
And that is in order to communicate and integrate with the cacti, that wall is a perfect place for a mural to make that space like a theatrical space that the cacti can thrive in. It's almost like a movie set.
I think the community is really wanting to see more murals and wanting to be a part of getting murals up here. And then also with the understanding that these aren't gonna last forever. So I think that's also part of the mural program, is that they are gonna be changing. That's part of artwork, is that they're not static. They're gonna be changing every time that they wear off, and that's the fun of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a nice wall.
It is, and it could set the tone for the entire area, because right across the street is where the living room space is going to be.
Yeah, that it would create like a whole experience, pretty much. I mean, you walk there, you just see the cactus, and you walk and you see a mural, then the cactus and the lighting. It would just be a whole experience right there.
That's true. And it could be actually pronounce the cactus even more, depends on what is behind it.
Exactly,
So,
yeah.
yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, so that means we need to contact the property owner to see if they're willing to do so. And if that's what the commission would like to see, and if Mr. Trujillo is okay with it, I can contact the property owner and maybe bring something back to you for March 8th.
I would hope that they had been contacted a number of years ago, but they may have changed their minds or something,
Oh,
but
I see.
any other ideas, people?
So staff has some ideas too.
Oh,
I keep bugging Mr. Trujillo, but if the commission would like to see some of the examples and some of the thoughts the staff has, we can bring it back to you March 8th as a staff presentation, so the commission can see and then just say if that's something that the commission would like to pursue similarly, or so we just wanted to get permission.
definitely. I mean, this group works as a team. You folks have plenty of ideas and expertise. Yeah, of course.
Okay, Mr. Trujillo, anything you would like to add?
We just need to make sure that this is all consistent with the work plan. If we're going to talk about a strategic plan and a work plan, and then we start to go rogue and get off on several different ideas and projects, then what's the point of a work plan? We have a finite amount of money here. So I just want to encourage the commission and staff to, we need to stay intentional and focused with our efforts and not get so watered down with that, because if not, we're going to end up in the same place where the commission has been for years with nothing actually getting done. And I don't want that to be the case. So let's just be very intentional and not get so sidetracked with if it's a part of the work plan, let's do it. But I just want to emphasize that.
No, I totally agree, Scott. And I think almost everything that we've mentioned, I was pretty much in line with the work plan and the things we've discussed in the past.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and in line with the strategic plan. So that's my other question too. So we're trying to align all of our programs with the strategic plan, which the commission has never had, but we still haven't had it go through the council. So is that going to be approved by the council so we can actually have it set in stone, so to speak?
So the work plan basically comes before the commission for your recommendation to the council, but the council needs to approve it. So the council can approve, can deny, can approve it with amendment. So they are the ones that they approve the budget and the money to go toward that. But again, as Mr. Trujillo said, if that work plan is, meets the strategic plan and we are really focused to get things done in a practical time frame with a practical budget, then that's something that it could be done. But I can't talk on behalf of the council. So the council will need to see that, and they have basically the authority to deny it or to not want it to spend the money on a project.
Well, the work plan is really just a practical offshoot of the strategic plan, points from the strategic plan.
Yeah.
We're just the work plan is just succinct clarification of those things that need to happen according to what the strategic plan has put forth.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Commissioner Bashir, you're essentially asking us to take the strategic plan that you guys already approved as a commission to the council for approval as well. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, it's been taken to council, and from my memory, it's when Councilmember Holm was mayor, she requested a work plan be brought with it in order for them to approve it. So that's why it was never approved, our strategic plan, because there was no work plan with it. So then the work plan got brought into it, and we're still sitting with both without being approved by council.
Okay, so if I follow this, then what we'll bring back to you on March 8th is the work plan. And then we can then proceed after that to council with that work plan as part of the strategic plan as well for final approval by the council. So we could probably look at the second meeting in March for adoption by the council.
Okay.
If the dates align. And but I think that's something that's let's get it done. And if you've already, that's good for me to even have that historical perspective that that's what they wanted. They want the work plan, so accompanied by the strategic plan. So we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why we want to get the work plan clear, concise, and to the point.
So the strategic plan has some areas that doesn't match the ordinance. So maybe if you think that's appropriate, maybe we can highlight those sections for the next time to the commission that the cultural, those things does not follow the current ordinance.
Yeah, that's a good point. And let's bring it back to the commission on the 8th and discuss that further. Because there may be elements that we don't take forth to the council, or with a caveat that says, in the event that we do implement X, Y, Z, it would require an update to the ordinance. So maybe we can clarify that, but not eliminate the language, but qualify the language.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good first step in getting the ordinance changed. Yeah.
I agree.
Let's do that.
Very good. Anything else, commissioners? Staff? All right,
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you to the commission. Thank you, Mr.
thank
Shinsky.
you. Thank you, Mrs. Nambar and Mr. Trujillo, for keeping us in line. All right, if there's nothing else, then we can adjourn this meeting at 6:49. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
We don't need to.
we don't need to do that.